from Nerdy BookBook Club, and this is Nerdy BookBook Club Book Talk. Today, we're discussing The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. Now, I just flew through this series. I was very hesitant in getting into it in the beginning. It starts out with cyborgs and stuff, and I was like,
I don't know if I want to do that. So I was really late in getting into the Lunar Chronicles party, but I'm really glad that I did.
I would give this series a 5 out of 5 stars for all the series put together, because that's what this book talk is going to be about. It's the entire series. I listened to the audiobook of this series, and it was on point. If I ever had to tell you guys to read an audiobook series, it's this one. The audiobook is done by Rebecca Soler. She does a phenomenal job of capturing different voices for each character. Her voice for Cinder is different from Cress, and Cress is different from Aiko, and different from Scarlet and Winter, and the guys even have different accents and different, tones in their voices. So it was very enjoyable to listen to the audiobook of this series. This is going to be a spoiler book talk. So if you haven't read this series, bye, because that's what's gonna happen right now. So the first book off in this series is Cinder, the retelling of Cinderella. Cinder's character was super badass in this entire series, not just in Cinder. I was very hesitant, like I said, to get into the series because she was a cyborg, but I think that was the coolest part of Cinder. I love Kai. Kai is super cute. He's like perfect boyfriend material. He's every girlfriend's cute, cuddly boyfriend. Oh my gosh, I love you so much. I did not like Aiko in the beginning at all. It wasn't until Scarlet that I started liking Aiko when she became the Rampion, but we'll get into that later. When Lavana comes into this story, it scared the living daylights out of me because I was like,
oh my god, is this another Amarantha kind of thing that we're going on? Like, her and Amarantha are like BFFs kind of thing? Because that's the feeling that I got from Lavana.
It was really, oh my god, because I just finished Akamath, and I was like, it was a very Amarantha, Lavana, like BFF kind of feel to me. But Lavana is such an interesting character because you feel, later on down the series, you start to feel bad for her. Audrey in this series was just, Let's talk about at the ball when she is like,
you cannot be here.
She's just like, and then Kai's like,
bitch, stop, back off. She's mine. I brought her here. She has her own invitation from me.
I was like, yes, Kai, yes, you take her down. That whole scene when he realizes that she's cyborg, she's lunar, I was just like,
no.
And she's falling down the stairs and stuff, and then she loses her foot. I was like,
oh no, oh please no.
And he's just like looking at her in such disgust. I was mortified. I really started to like Dr. Erland in this series. I liked him more like later on down the series and stuff, but Dr. Erland was such an interesting character because how he's kind of like a mentor to Cinder. The whole scene with Peony at the camp, like rehabilitation center, you're actually gonna die here. The sick ward was so heartbreaking, and her taking her ID chip out, I was like,
all the feels came rushing in, and I was just like, Peony, no.
I honestly thought that she was gonna get back to Peony in time, but then she gave it to the little boy, and I was like, that makes more sense. And then we get into Scarlet. Scarlet is based off of Little Red Riding Hood. And I was really weirded out because I was listening to the audiobook from it going from this one character setting to this completely other different 360 turnaround to Scarlet. And I was like,
oh, are we not gonna know what happens to Cinder? Is no POV from Cinder?
But we do get a POV from Cinder and Scarlet. So instead of being in New Beijing, we're in France, in the countryside, at Scarlet's grandmother's farm. Her grandmother goes missing. Scarlet has to find her, she ends up with this guy named Wolf, and I really liked Scarlet and Wolf. There's something about animalisticness in books that I just tend to draw to. They're probably my second favorite couple in this series. My first is Cress and Thorn, but they're my second by far.
Well, I don't know. Are they? They're probably tied with Kai and Cinder, honestly. I don't know. Winter and Jason are my last. They're just like, meh.
I feel like that's because I didn't get to know them as much as I did like Scarlet and Wolf, Kai and Cinder, and Cress and Thorn. So Winter and Jason were kind of like my meh. We meet Wolf. He's very animalistic, very just like, the whole alpha thing with them was kind of like,
ooh, yeah, I like that.
So they go on search for her grandmother together, and that leads them to a place where his wolf alpha pack is located with the thaumaturge, and it kind of gets intense. So Wolf and Scarlet find her grandmother. Her grandmother unfortunately dies, but at least like she got to, you know, be with her in the end, I guess. That's really sad to say. And then we switch over to Cinder's POV, and she's trapped in the New Beijing prison. Dr. Arlon comes in and is like, I'm going to help you. Here, have this new hand. And he gives her the hand, and it's like,
bionic woman hand. I got a gun. I got a flashlight. A screwdriver.
You know, it's like bionic woman hand, and it's super, super cool, and I want one.
I want one. Dr. Arlen, I know you're dead, but just come back and hook me up. That'd be great. Thanks.
And she escapes from New Beijing prison, and as she's doing that, she accidentally escapes from the wrong room and crashes down into none other than Carswell Thorne's room. Now let's talk about Carswell Thorne for just 2 seconds.
I love him so much.
He is by far my favorite character out of this entire series. His one-liners are on point. They're super funny. He's a gem, and I love him. So back to this book. So Cinder meets Carswell Thorne. They get out of New Beijing prison. They go on his Rampion. He has stolen. Team up, get on his Rampion, and go to France, where they meet up with Scarlet and Wolf. And together, they go and try to find Cress. The third book in this series is Cress. I was so excited to dive into this book. I love Rapunzel, so having this book be Rapunzel was my favorite. It also helps that Cress's love interest is Thorn, who I already love from the second book. So we start off this book with Cinder, Thorn, Scarlet, and Wolf going to save Cress. She was kind of introduced in the first book. She contacted Cinder, and she was like, I'm trapped in a satellite. Here's some news that Queen Lavanna, what her evil plan was to do was take over the Commonwealth and kill Kai. So Cinder's been a main character since the first one. We rarely heard of her in the second one, but now it's time to go save Cress. So Cress is not trapped in a tower. She is in a satellite. She is a shell, which is a lunar that has no abilities, and Cress is a badass hacker. She's short,
which I really like because I'm short and so is Shayna. So we understand Cress and being the short people of this book series.
So they go to save Cress, and as Thorn is getting onto his pod ship, going over, who happens to be in Cress's satellite? Fulmirez, Lavanna's head thaumaturge. And you know that shit's just gonna go down. So Thorn is in his pod, here about to jump onto her satellite, and he gets aboard. He is looking to where Cinder is, and shit happens, a throwdown happens, and Sybil's like,
bye, I'm gonna go get on your Rampion, I'm gonna go kill Cinder, and I'm gonna let you guys plummet to the earth. Bye now! And you're just like, no, this can't happen. I love Thorn. No, he can't.
So they start plummeting to earth while here goes Sybil onto the Rampion, and you're just like, damn it. Thorn knocks his head on something and loses his vision. When that happens, and he's like, who turned off the lights? What's happening? And he can't see what's going on, and Cress is like, it is light outside. You're just like,
oh no. No. No, please. Please, no. I can't take him.
So Thorn loses his eyesight, and he has to wear this mask around his eyes to just kind of help him, which is kind of cute in a way. And poor little Cress is in love with Thorn. She hasn't seen a guy in like how many years, and she's like,
I'm in love with you. And he's like, and Thor's just like, baby, every girl loves me. I mean, look at me. I'm chiseled. I'm awesome.
So Cress and Thorn crash down to Earth. He relies on Cress to help him see that moment when he's trying to be like,
Cress, what do you see out there? And she's like, oh, the sky is so blue. Oh my God. And Thor's just like, yeah, that's real helpful. Anything else?
Back on the Rampion, Sybil Mirez boards the ship and they fight, uses her powers, and disguises the guard to be Scarlet and Scarlet to be the guard. And as she's pulling away, Cinder sees the glamour and it's like, oh God.
Scarlet, no! And it's already like, boom, pod ship's gone. Scarlet's gone out of the book. And here's Wolf lying there, stabbed, and it's like, oh shit, what do we do now?
Now let's go back to Scarlet real fast. Dr. Arland, when she came to the jail to save Cinder, he told her he was going to go to Africa. Meet up with Dr. Arland in Africa, and he'll help you with your powers, and everything will be hunky-dory. Now back to Cress. Here is Wolf. He is injured. He is stabbed. He is dying. What do you need?
You need a doctor. You need a doctor, sweetie. He needs to go to the doctor.
And I'm sitting in my car on lunch break when I'm listening to this, and I'm literally screaming,
Africa! You need to go to Africa! Cinder, you need to go to Africa now! Go to Africa!
And sure enough, she's like, oh, I need to go to Africa. Let's go to Africa. Dr. Arland is in Africa. And I'm like,
thank you, Africa!
So they fly down to Africa, get Wolf fixed, and who else lands in Africa?
Thank God! Cress and Thorn land in Africa.
The poor kids have to travel the desert of Africa. Cress almost dies because she doesn't have on shoes. They find this band of people to help them, and I'm like,
this is a bad idea. That's a bad idea. Something's gonna go down. And sure enough, it goes down.
When Cress gets taken, I'm like,
well, there it goes.
Thorn is blind at this point. Like,
how is he going to get to her? How the heck is he gonna get to her?
And thank God that the kidnappers brought her to Dr. Arland. And I'm like, okay.
This is too easy. Something's gonna happen.
And she's gonna be like, oh God, I have to run away. And sure enough, that starts happening. I'm like,
God dang it. She's gonna run away and she's gonna be right there, so close. And then it's gonna be goodbye again. Goodbye. Let's have to go find you all over again.
but thank God, Cinder and Scarlet and all of them are like, oh my God, Cress, it's you. And then Thorn comes in, blazing guns, and all the gang, Cinder and co, are together. All the while, Kai's over here getting ready for his wedding coronation. And I'm just like,
No. He needs to be with Cinder. He's thinking of Cinder through this whole series. He doesn't care about Lavanna. I'm sorry. She is nobody. You need to be with Cinder. I need you to be with Cinder.
so Cinder and co are like, what can we do? How can we stop Kai from marrying Lavanna?
Let's kidnap him. That'll solve everything.
With all the masterminds that they have, they capture Kai. Cinder shoots him, and I'm like,
Oh, damn. Damn, girl. What the hell? What the hell are you thinking?
and when he wakes up on the Rampion, I am like,
Oh, God. Oh, God. This can either go one of two ways. One way is like, I hate you. You're a cyborg. Ew, gross. Get out of my life. Or, I don't care that you're a cyborg. I'm going to love you no matter what.
and he's like, I don't care, I love you, and they kiss.
And it melts my heart. I love it.
And everybody splits up to go capture Kai. And Dr. Arland and Thorn go into their hospital wing. I am relieved.
I was like, oh, thank God. Thor's gonna get his eyesight back. Everything's gonna be great. Dr. Arland's gonna get out of there. No.
Dr. Arland, he caught the new strain of leishmaniasis, and I'm just like,
Oh,
figure that she's ever had, and he's actually Cress's father. Like, they just got together. He couldn't tell her. And it's just like, poor baby. Poor baby. And then we jump right into Winter. Now, Winter is the retelling of Snow White. And Lavanna is kind of like the evil queen, which she is. Jason has gone back to Luna, to Artemisia, back to Winter, because he has to protect her. And I am not the biggest fan of Jason. Even though he gets better and stuff, I am not his biggest fan, because all he cares about is Winter. Like,
Care about some other people. Come on. Care about the gang. Care about the Co. Cinder and Co. Not Cinder Co. And then there's Jason over there. It doesn't work like that, Jason. I'm sorry. Even Winter came and helped, and you're just like, no, I only care about Winter.
we learn in Cress that Scarlet has been taken. She's lost a finger. She is now Winter's little pet and lives in the menagerie with all the albino creatures. And poor Scarlet is just tossed into these cages like,
Scarlet friend, you're my little pet.
so the gang goes to Luna and they start their revolution, and the whole time I'm like,
Shit's gonna go down, and it's not gonna be pretty at all.
I like how we see a little bit more of Lavanna's perspective in this book. I really like how in the end, you know, we kind of be like, we start to feel kind of sorry for Lavanna about the situation that happened with her sister. Her sister, Cinder's mother, is a
Bitch, I'm sorry, but she is. To do that to her sister and kind of just be like, haha, you're on fire, is kind of just, bitch.
The whole part when Cress and Thorn go into the castle, they're going into the coronation party, and she's wearing her butterfly costume, and this Lunar over here is like,
Look at that cute earthen boy. Oh, yes.
and he's just like,
Ooh, mama.
and he walks over to her, starts making out with her, and poor little Cress is just over in the corner staring at Thorn while he's sitting there making out with this woman, and I'm just like, I'm so pissed off. And then he's like, I think I love you. I'm just like,
No, hell, oh, hell no.
so then this woman takes her mouth off Thorn and's like, bye little earthen boy, and then goes and giggles off with her friends. And then Thorn's just like, where's Cress? Cress, come here. And she's storming off, pissed off and everything, as I was. So he kind of throws her into this room and he's like, Cress. And she's like, no, you told me this once before that I wasn't for you, you weren't for me kind of thing. It's fine. I let my emotions get into it. She's like, I don't want to talk about it. He's like, okay, I don't want to talk about it either. He starts like 2 paces to her and she's like,
Whoa, what's happening?
and they just start making out, and it's just like, I was so happy. And then we have Cinder and Kai, who have been separated since the first book, and they're like, that was our 18th kiss, and I'm just like,
Okay. Melting.
and poor Scarlet and Wolf, I feel like their relationship in this series has just been the hardest one because they're always separated.
What about Kai and Cinder?
Yeah, but it's different because of the alpha thing with them. They have a bigger bond, I think, than Cinder and Kai with Scarlet and Wolf. So that's why I feel much worse about Scarlet and Wolf than Cinder and Kai. When Lavanna orders Jason to kill Winter, I'm just like, okay, Huntsman, that's cute tie-in, but I'm just like, oh my god, shit's gonna go down. He's not gonna kill her. And then the whole thing happens in the menagerie. Scarlet's just like, what's going on? What's happening? And all you hear is like, there's blood everywhere. And it's just like, oh my god, he actually killed her. He's stabbing her. What the hell? And it's like, oh, it's the wolf. He's stabbing the wolf. It's fine. Winter's fine. Jason's getting us out. Jason's gonna get Scarlet. And Scarlet and Winter make a run for it thanks to Jason. I'm like,
Okay, Okay, thanks, Jason. You did something for once that was not just for Winter.
But it kind of was. And he goes back to the palace. He's like, I killed her. I want to get out of this place. And the queen's just like, okay, fine. Take a couple of days off. Have a ball. Goodbye. Cinder and Wolf both get kidnapped, and it's like,
Well, shit.
Wolf and Cinder get separated, and you're just like,
No, Wolf, they're gonna do terrible things to you.
and sure enough, he gets turned into one of those beastly creatures. And then the wedding happens. Kai goes through it, and I'm just like,
Well, damn, how the hell are you gonna get out that, Kai? Come on, god dang it, you're supposed to get out of that. You weren't supposed to marry her.
and then you get to this dinner party, and who's the honored guest? Cinder! And I'm just like,
Well, she's gonna die here. This is where she's gonna die.
and she can't use her power. Lavana's controlling her, and I'm just like,
It's over. It's done. That's the end.
and she escapes. She flies off the balcony, plunges into the water, and Thorn and Scarlet and Cress have saved her. Poor Wolf just gets left behind, and nobody even cares a thought to think of Wolf. And now we have a new thaumaturge, Amory, and I'm just like,
Amory. I want to punch Amory because he looks at Winter up and down like, you're my next meal. Ooh, she's like 16, dude.
I don't know how old he is, but I picture him as like this 40-year-old creep, and I'm just like, ew.
Of course she picks Jason, Amory. You're 40 years old. Dude, you're old. Back off.
The way I picture Amory is the guy with the beard from Hunger Games. That's Amory to me. And then we have the moment that we've been waiting for, and it's when the old lady comes and gives Winter the apple. And it's her favorite treat, the apple candies. The old lady / Savannah's like,
Here, have this apple candy and I'll have this other one. Oh, you're too kind.
and she takes the bite out of it.
And I'm like, okay, it's poisonous. It's poisonous.
To me, it's worse than poison. It's the new strain of leishmaniasis disease, and you're just like,
Well, shit.
now we have to worry about not only Winter dying, everyone else dying, including Scarlet, who is there with her with all the creepy wolf hybrid things that they army-wise, and you're just like,
Great. That's perfect. Awesome. That's exactly what we needed right now.
so Winter's now in this animation tank, and I picture the animation tanks that are from Avatar, but like with goop inside of them, and it's really gross. And Jason and Cinder go to Artemisia to get the antidote because they found out that Winter has the disease, and so does Scarlet and that whole sector. So they go to Artemisia, get the cure, and I'm like,
That was really easy to get that antidote. Thank God for that.
so they bring the antidote to them. Everybody's okay. No one's dying. Winter's not dying. Jason's gonna stay with Winter while everybody else goes to Artemisia and storms the palace. And you're just like,
Shit is about to go down. Hardcore.
Cress is in the palace. She gets separated from Thorn. Thorn gets taken, and you're just like,
No. No, my baby. No. Come back. Come back.
so Thorn gets kidnapped, and he's like, be heroic, Cress. And I'm just like,
You got this, Cress. You got this. You can do it.
she goes in there and does her little reprogramming thingy and just be like,
Boom. Booyah. I just screwed y'all up hardcore. Beat that.
everything is set in stone for the uprising. Let's now storm the palaces of Artemisia with Cinder and co. And boom, it happens. The showdown with Lavana and the thaumaturges and the wolf hybrid creepy thingies.
And it just goes downhill from there. And you're just like, well, crap.
The end scene where it's Cinder and Lavana smackdown showdown. I'm just like,
I'm ready for this. I've been ready for it since book 1. And god damn it, there's Thorn. He's like, well, it took you long enough. And I'm just like, no, you're not supposed to be there. Go away. No, this can't happen. Goodbye now. Goodbye.
and she takes control of Thorn, and Thorn and Cinder kind of have a smackdown. It's just like, he's like,
I'm sorry. I don't have any control over anything. I'm sorry.
and here comes Cress, shoots 2 fingers off his hand. She's like, I'm sorry.
And then he stabs her. And I freaked out. I was like,
Thorn's just standing there with the knife in his hand in her stomach. He's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm like, no, I need y'all to be together. I need it to be together.
Levana's telling her sad story about her sister and how she got burned, but Cress is like,
You've been through this. How could you do it to a 3-year-old? And she's just like, you didn't know my sister, your mother. She was a horrible person. I'm just like, you're a horrible person. You need to die.
So Levana and Cinder both have guns. Cinder is aiming it at her head and Levana's aiming it at hers, and their powers are just like, going back and forth, and she's like, okay, I give up. I surrender. I relinquish all of my stuff. You can have it. You can have the throne. Just stop. I'm done with this. Just let me be. And Cinder's like, okay. So Levana then plunges the knife into Cinder's heart, and on instinct, Cinder's like, raises the gun, shoots Levana, and you're like,
ding dong, the witch is there, witch, oh witch, the wicked witch.
And then you're like, Cinder's dying, no! What about her and Kai? And here comes Kai walking in the throne room like, Cinder. And Cinder's in this all like dazed and confused like,
oh, I see a white light. And you're just like, stay away from the light! Stay away from the light! I heard his voice. He was screaming something far, far away.
And then the next chapter goes to Scarlet, and you're just like,
wait, what happened to Cinder? What is going on? I need to know these things.
And it goes off with this whole thing like, oh, she still loves Wolf, even though Wolf looks like a monster. They still love each other. Cute.
Animal instincts is still kind of sexy. I can roll with that. So this whole series, I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen since Winter's the princess of Luna and Cinder is the queen? She's going to be like, okay, you know what? Winter, you take over. I'm gonna go marry Kai, and I'm gonna go live in the Commonwealth, and everything will be hunky-dory. I'll get my man. I'll still be the crown queen. You'll be queen. Everybody becomes a queen.
That does not happen. So Cinder wakes up. She's like, oh, my chest hurts.
Well, you got stabbed, so yeah, it hurts, sweetie.
And Kai's there. He hasn't left her side, and it's just like,
That's so cute. I love it.
So Cinder's like, okay, we need to have a meeting. Call everybody, and we'll have a big meeting, because I need to lay some stuff down. And then we jump over to Cress and Thorn, and Cress is like, oh, my stomach hurts. Everybody's been here to see me, except Thorn. And they move her to this room right across from Thorn, and I'm just like,
girl, go get your man.
So he's standing in the hallway and like, oh, hey, what's up, Cress? And she's like, oh, nothing. Thanks for coming to see me. And he's standing in the hallway. He's like, oh, no, you need your rest. Let me help you. He pushes her back into her room, was like, no, you need rest, sweetie. And comes in, they talk, and he tells her that President Vargas is giving him the Rampion. And I'm just like,
Yay!
Seeing Thorn in that chapter kind of like baffled, like not knowing what to say was just so funny. He's like, I don't know how to do this, but Cress, will you be a part of my crew? And she's like,
sure, I guess. I don't know.
And he's like, look, Cress, you scare the hell out of me, but I want to see the world with you. I want to go places with you, and I'm just like,
yes, thank you, I'll go with you. I'll travel the world with you.
And then you got Winter and Jason. Winter is still getting over the crazy Lettumosis thing, but since she used her powers and kind of went cuckoo to kill Amory, who was about to kill Jason, she kind of has one of those, oh, I am screwed up now. I'm not going to be the same. I need help. So she's going to be the first person who goes through the testing for the cure for the lunar sickness, which Jason's like, no, it shouldn't be you. I can't lose you. I love you. And I'm like,
you could have said that a long time ago, buddy, but whatever.
So Cinder and Kai make the arrangements to hopefully see each other in the future and stuff, form an alliance. Cinder's gonna try to make Luna a republic, which I think is really cool. It may not be what the people want, but it's what Luna needs. It ended on such a high. All the characters came kind of full circle in the end, and I was super happy how everybody turned out in the end. So that is my book talk for the Lunar Chronicles series. Let me know what your favorite moments of this series was in the comments below. I'm Mary, and this is Nerdy BookBook Club, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
actually my fiance, but like taller, and funnier. Because my fiance is not that funny.
I'm not gonna lie, the song that was stuck in my head this entire book was
Don't go breaking my heart. You take the weight of me. Oh, honey, if I get restless, baby, you're not my key. Do, 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 do. Ooh. Nobody knows it. Nobody knows. Right from the start, I gave you my heart. Oh, I gave you my heart. Don't go breaking me. I won't go breaking your heart. Don't go breaking my. Don't go breaking my. Don't go breaking my heart. Don't go breaking my. Don't go breaking my. I will go breaking your heart.
that's the song that was stuck in my head the entire book.
Cinder & Co. out.